notice how you're not saying cut so I can have a piece.
Cut! Hi, and welcome back to another edition of Cookin' Chris's Dishes with the good old boy. That is me, and I'm cooking up dishes from recipes.crock.com, which is my wife's cooking blog that has over 400 recipes and counting. And today we're going to be making some spoon bread, some corn casserole, if you will, some corn pudding, depending on where you're from. Side note, that's our nickname for each other. We call each other Puddin'. Isn't that right, Puddin'?
No, we call each other Putty.
Putty. Yes, we've shortened Puddin' to Putty. And then she calls me Pud. And when she writes it down...
everybody thinks it's Pud.
Yeah, because every time that she says it online on Facebook or says, I love you, Pud. But again, it's kind of like our last name. Maybe you should put an E at the end of it. And then it would be, Pood. And I don't want to be called Pood, so she called me Pud, and it's fine. But anyway, we're going to be making some corn casserole today. This recipe is very simple to make. And it's very much beloved in our family. We take it to every holiday gathering we go to. Anytime we go to a party where it's a pitch-in, they always say, hey, is Cris going to bring her cornbread? Her spoon bread?
People outside of Indiana, a lot of them don't know what a pitch-in is.
Okay, a pitch-in, where you pitch in and you bring food. You know, like at church functions or...
Other people call them potlucks.
Potlucks. A potluck dinner, a pitch-in is what we call it here in Indiana. It's where you bring food and everybody pitches in together and has a great big feast. And at the feasts we go to, we bring corn casserole, spoon bread, corn pudding, whatever you want to call it. I call it really, really good. And so does anybody else that goes to the pitch-ins that we go to because they always ask us if we will bring that. And so the ingredients to this spoon bread, corn pudding, corn casserole are as follows. You need 1 8-ounce container, thingy, brick, whatever you want to call it, of cream cheese that's already been softened. You need 2 eggs that are beaten. I'll beat them in a minute. You need that's a half, is that a half? Nope, 2/3 cup.
No,
yeah, that's right, that's right, it's a half cup. It's in a 2/3 cup container because the half cup thing is in the dishwasher. But the cool thing about these little measuring cups that my wife got, on the inside you can cheat and it shows you where there's a half cup in it too. So a half cup of sugar. You need 1 packet of corn muffin mix. We're using Jiffy because that's our favorite. But 1 package, 8.5 ounces of corn, either like a cornbread mix, corn muffin mix. You also need 1 cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of melted butter, 1 can of creamed corn. You need some seasoned salt. You need a package of corn. You need 2.5 cups. This is actually going to be about 2 cups, but that'll be okay because the package that we bought, my bad, I went to the store, grabbed the wrong bag. But we'll suffer through with 2 cups of corn. And then also a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and we're going to be using fresh nutmeg for this. And the first thing that you want to do is grease your slow cooker or put a... what do you call those things?
Liner.
A liner. Put a liner in your slow cooker because this does have a tendency to stick to whatever it's cooking to. It's kind of like cake. It's going to bake, and when it bakes, it's going to stick to whatever it is.
You could use cooking spray too.
You could use cooking spray. I'm just a big fan of butter. I really am. I use it a lot with my wife. I like to butter her up as well as the dishes that I use. So I put in a little bit of butter in the bottom of this and just kind of grease the thing with it. Crisco, cooking spray, use a crock pot liner, whatever you want to use so that it doesn't stick. The reason I like to use butter is this kind of crisp it on the bottom as well. That's what butter does. And then after you've greased your pan, then in a bowl you want to combine your cream cheese, your eggs, and your sugar. Now this cream cheese did set out to soften, so it should not be hard to mix up. It's probably going to be harder to get it off of the wrapper. Nope, that came off pretty clean. So cream cheese, 2 eggs, no shells in there. And it just hit me. You're supposed to beat the eggs.
No, you can do it.
So it's okay. Because I had a fork handy anyway. I'll beat the eggs. Eggs are now beaten. And your sugar in there. And now we'll mix it all up. Combine it all up till it's all stirred up good. Get the corn out of the way so y'all can see me stirring this, because yeah, Lord knows you don't know what it looks like to stir something, right? So this mixing bowl has even got a handy little handle, so I can bring it up here and stir it up. And once you got all of that mixed up, put in your dry muffin mix. And it says your remaining ingredients, which would be your butter, melted, your cup of milk, squeezed from a cow, your, try not to make too many loud noises, your can of creamed corn. You want, what I say here, I also said 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt. We use Lowry's for just about everything. And so I'll put in a teaspoon. Now, as you can see, I don't have a teaspoon out. So what I'm going to do is this. My mama always told me how to measure using her hands. And if you take your hand, I'm going to do it just like this. And you put it, can you see that? And you put it, there it is. And you put it just like that. How much am I supposed to use? What, a teaspoon? First off, you got to remember how much it was. I got my phone right here. It's got the recipe on it. 1 teaspoon of seasoned salt. That's nutmeg. My bad. Wow. And if you shake it in there just like that, right in the very pit of that palm right there, that's how my mom measures a teaspoon. And that's about a teaspoon. I guess. That's what it looked like. That's how much I used when I did the finished batch. So that's what I'm going to use here. And then naturally you need your corn. They tried to get away. And they put more on the floor. My goodness, I'm being clumsy today in the kitchen. I think I'm clumsy every day in the kitchen. Hence, there's corn everywhere. I'm going to use a bigger spoon for this. Stir that up a little bit. And then the last ingredient that we need to in there is your nutmeg, and we're using fresh nutmeg. Here's one. Got a little flat spot on it. And you're supposed to use a 1/4 teaspoon. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to measure and grate this up. So, oh great. So I'm just going to do it till I think I've got about a 1/4 teaspoon. Try to shave down your nutmeg and not your fingertips. That's about a 1/4 teaspoon. That'll work. It smells really good. Nutmeg smells really, really good. So, try that again. Now, all of our ingredients in there, seasoned salt, everything, nutmeg, corn muffin mix, 2 beaten eggs, the sugar, and the cream cheese, and just mix it up. Stir it up real good until everything is combined together. Marry it up, if you will. You just want to make sure that especially the corn muffin mix gets all mixed up in there with it. If your cream cheese isn't as softened as mine was, you can get little chunks of cream cheese. That's fine. It'll actually melt up when it cooks in there. And just like that, it's done. And then you take it and you put it in your slow cooker, just like that. Scrape it all out from the bottom. Put it in there, just like that. Don't do what I just did. Don't lick your fingers if you get on there, because it's got raw eggs in it. I cannot condone you for eating anything with raw eggs in it. And then once that's done, you put a lid on it. And you cook it.
Put?
Yes, dear.
You might want to put a paper towel on that lid.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because on the finished product, I didn't do that to begin with. And as you can see, with milk and corn and cream cheese and eggs, there will be much moisture. And so what you want to do, because you want this to dry out as it's baking or cooking in your crock pot, you want to fold your paper towels right and put this over the top of your slow cooker, and that'll catch a lot of the excess steam that rises up,
So
and it'll help to dry out.
Soggy.
Yeah, it won't make your bread soggy. It'll help dry it out a little bit as it cooks up. just like that. Pull it tight. Ta-da! Just like that. And then you want to cook this on high for 2 to 4 hours. Now, depending on your slow cooker, because as we always say, some slow cookers cook a little faster than others. Some people just can't say anything at all. Some slow cookers cook a little slower than others, depending on the type, the size, the shape, the brand, everything. And if you buy 2 of the same one, they're both going to cook differently, just like anything else you would use. It's kind of like us. It's kind of like snowflakes. We're all unique and individual in the way we're made. So, check this. Set it on high, and in between 2 and 4 hours, I would set a timer for about 1.5 hours to start to check it. And if you see that one side's cooking up faster than the other side, real simple. Do that. And then it'll start to cook more and it'll even up on both sides. After a couple hours, check it again. After 2.5 hours, check it again. This is not one of those set and forget recipes you walk away with. It's like baking a cake or cookies or muffins or what have you. You're baking this in your slow cooker. You need to watch it to make sure that you don't burn it. And then once you've seen that the middle has set up, or let's say that the outer edges are starting to really brown up good and everything, but the middle's still a little soggy,
just
keep cooking it. Take the lid off, let it cook a little longer, and it'll actually help to set the middle of that up.
Dry out a little bit more.
Yep.
Usually, we usually leave the lid off for about the last half hour.
And I will move. Whoa.
Whoa.
Dude, that could have been bad. Call me. When you get done with it and it's all cooked up, and I use the casserole crock for this. I'm going to move the nutmeg out of the way. Put that right there. I'll show you what it looks like when she's all cooked up. Take that lid off and voila. And this did start to brown up on one side more than the other, so I did turn this one time while it was cooking. And now it's perfectly done. Let me grab another fork.
You might want a spoon to spoon it out.
Huh?
You might want a spoon to
I got spatula.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I'm using the slow cooker, the casserole slow cooker that we have, so it's going to cook up more like a little cake. And again, you know me, I like the corners more than
It still might be pretty
the
spoony.
middle. A little bit. That's not bad. It comes out pretty good.
That looks good.
Oh, it smells really good. Glad we had 2 plates out there. I'll put that one there. And we'll try it. I'm going to try it from the outside to see how it crisped up there. Again, I use butter to line my slow cooker.
You knew it was going to be good. We make this all the time.
This is the first time I've ever made it.
Well, now you're trained, so holidays you can make it.
You're just going to have to give me a second. This is one of those dishes that brings back memories of holidays, Christmases, and Thanksgivings and stuff like that with our families. And it's buttery. It's very rich. It's very sweet between the sweet corn, the sugar, the butter. This isn't one of those meals that you eat right before you go work out.
No, you need to work out after you eat that.
Yeah. But that is so good.
It's one of the most popular on the site.
It's one of the most popular in our family too.
Yeah.
It's definitely a comfort food. I felt, after the first bite, I felt comforted. It's like a nice, warm, corny hug. That's what you'd get from me if you ever met me. But it's very, very good. Again, like I said, I like to use butter when I do the outside, and so it's very buttery on the outside from where it cooked with a greased pan of butter.
You can also use cooking spray if you want.
If you want to. You could use it.
You've never complained in the past.
You could use a liner if you want to. Or you could use butter. You want to. That is so good. But, real simple. Corn casserole. Corn pudding. Spoon bread. You could take it to a pitch-in. Or a potluck. Depending on where you're from. You could just cook it and make it at home and eat it all by yourself. That's what I plan on doing. Whatever you want to do. It's really, really good. That's one of my favorite ones yet.
You were happy when I told you it was on the list to make today.
It was really good. But that is one of just many, many, many recipes that you'll see on recipes.crock.com. And that's one of many, many, many recipes that you'll see here at youtube.com/MikeyGoode. That's me. If you haven't subscribed, now is the time. Subscribe down below. It's somewhere right in here, a little red box that says subscribe on it. Click it. Become a part of our little interwebs family. And also, if you would, go to Facebook and give us a like over at Recipes That Crock, as well as Good Old Tunes with Good Old Boy, that's me, where we'll also show these recipes along with music and other fun things that the family does. And we really, really do enjoy you guys watching our videos. We're getting a lot of feedback here lately, and it's been very positive. We're glad that you like what we're doing. We're glad that you're picking up what we're laying down, if you know what I mean. And we'll keep cooking, and you keep watching, and all will be well. We thanks again for you watching.